Is up, everybody? You have just messed up because once again you have tuned into Real Last right here on Real Radio 104.1. The voice you're hearing today is Mr. James John, comedian extraordinaire and the host of the Lowdown on Afro TV, channel 1623. If you have Xfinity Comcast, make sure you go check that out. I am joined in virtual studio with the man that helped start all this we call Real Last. Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. is in the building with me. Miguel, how the hell you feeling today?
I'm good, man. And this is a special Wu Tang Wednesday episode because last week, all of us, the whole Real Last crew, went and saw Wu Tang, Nas, and Busta Rhymes out in Tampa.
Bro.
And it was a blast.
Bro. The RZA. The Jizza.
The
Old dirty bastard son.
Yeah, the son of Old Dirty Bastard. And they call him Young Dirty Bastard.
That's funny that's a name. You're like, yo, bro. You know,
hey,
I go by.
Funny part, he's about to go on stage. He's like 30 minutes before he's about to go on stage. I was backstage because my homeboy Roger, his brother is Master Killer from Wu Tang Clan. And so we're backstage and we're hearing him. And apparently, when he was the first about to go on stage, like 30 minutes before Wu Tang took the stage, he had his braids regular, you know, like the cornrows back. Yeah. And they were like, nah, you got to do them like your dad. And apparently he was like, yo, you know, that's how my dad did them. And they're like, motherfucker, you're here to be your dad. You're not here to break out with your own. You're not gonna be doing original material.
No, you know. Let's be clear. You're here
because put the fucking Old Dirty Bastard braids and go out there and go on.
Yeah, we got an MF bomb and an F bomb from you already. Nice.
Oh yeah. I forgot. I was in the zone. Hey, you know what's crazy too? I found out when you are in Wu Tang. Yeah. Your cut of the pie is for life. What? Unless you're booted out of the group for some like scandalous reason, your cut of the pie is for life. So if you were to die, your family gets a piece of that tour for life.
So no matter who's on the tour, they still get paid?
If you're living and you don't go on the tour, no.
Okay, got it.
If you choose not to go on the tour, no. But like if you can't go on the tour, like if you're injured in the hospital and you're laying there in a hospital bed, you're getting a cut of the tour. If you're like, hey, I gotta act and do this instead, then no.
Okay.
And no hard feelings. Like Meth didn't go on this part of the tour because he's doing the movies.
He's doing Power.
Yeah. But let's say Meth was in a coma.
Okay.
And couldn't go on tour. Meth gets a cut of that tour.
That's
and let's say Meth were to die, God forbid. Meth's family will forever get a cut of that tour.
Okay,
that's part of the deal that RZA made with
a whole lot of sense, and that's a great deal because not everybody has that as a group.
Nobody's going to do that deal for you.
No, nobody.
But part of the deal, I guess, was when RZA first approached them. Or not approached, but I guess was putting the whole crew together and talking to everybody. He basically told them, "I am going to be. I offer you this deal. Make me basically the emperor." The dictator of this organization for the next 4 years. I'm going to make every decision. There's not going to be votes or anything like that. I'm going to propel us in the direction. And in that 4 years, if I get us to where we need to be, then we'll reconstruct and make this a democracy where I'll sit as the chairman of the board.
Yeah.
But everyone's vote is equal. I'll just run and conduct this. But with that, he also said, if you're with us in these 4 years, if you play your role, and anything, his thought was prison. They were all thinking, I might get locked up. I might get locked up. I might get locked up. So the goal was, if you work in this 4 years, you do everything right, and God forbid something happens to you. RZA was like, I know we're going to make it to the top, and you will forever, you and your family will forever be taken care of. That's why Master Killer only had one song on the first album, because he was locked up.
I did not know that.
And that's why a lot of people were like, well, just get rid of him. We just get the record labels like, just get rid of him. You know, like he's gonna be locked up. Just get rid of him. We don't need that. And RZA was like, no, it's part of the deal. So Master Killer was on the second album hard because the deal. Ride with me for 4 years. Make me the leader for 4 years. Only because he's like, I'm going to, and I'm definitely talking RZA propaganda because I'm hearing this from like the guys. I'm hearing this from Master Killer and all these guys and stuff like that, but they're all very fond of RZA. So I'm sure there was some dark moments too where they were like, yo, this dude ain't doing it, you know? But the idea was, I'm going to dedicate myself to getting us to the top. I have a plan, but you have to follow my plan. But the honorable RZA thing was once we get to the top, Then I stepped down as the leader, and now I'm the elected leader, if you so desire.
And look how far they've taken the
Wu
brand. Like they still got shops.
Yeah.
It's funny because one of my favorite rappers is Ghostface Killer. He just opened up Killer Coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, the coffee shop with all his memorabilia. You can go buy Wallabies, your t-shirts, and all that good stuff. But if you would have told me when I was a kid in '93, first listening to Protect Your Neck and falling absolutely in love with them because they talked about all the things I loved as a kid. Kung Fu movies, bro.
Kung Fu movies, cartoons, video games,
Marvel Comics, like all the things I love, they were talking about. If you would have told me those same group of dudes would now not only be starring in like TV shows and movies and be going on to like own businesses, I'd have been like, bro, you crazy. Like,
I tell you what's even crazier. If you would have told me a group from 1993 was going to come up with a brand in hip hop that was still relevant in 2022,
that's
the
crazy.
Wu. I'm rocking a Wu shirt today, man. The Wu W is the most noticeable brand in hip hop. It's bigger than Bad Boys. The Rock tried hard. Def Jam is a bigger name when it comes to label, but it's not a bigger. It's not. Yeah, that W represents so much in hip hop culture. And also, if you were to tell me when I first heard Enter the 36 Chambers, when I first heard that album, if you were to tell me, oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of white hippies that love this music, I'd be like, you're ridiculous, bro. If you go to a Wu concert, it was white hippies everywhere.
Bro, that's the beautiful thing about hip hop. It is the common denominator. At that concert, it was beautiful. Nobody was fighting. Nobody was fighting.
Also, nobody was like, anytime I saw somebody who was like 22 years old, I would run up on him and videotape him. And I would be like, hey, look at videotape. Look how old I am. Video him. I would be like, video him. Yeah. And I would be like, hey, man, hey, what's your favorite Wu song? And they were like, I'm like, yo, this dude's a cop. Because there were so many like kids there that were like repping Wu stuff. And I was like, you've never even heard a Wu song, but I don't care. I don't care. You're here. And Nas was there. And I forget. I can't believe I'm overshadowing Nas with anything. But if you're going to overshadow Nas, the Wu group, is so big. But Nas was there killing it.
But Nas, let's cover the hip hop episode. We got to say it. Nas is on everybody's top 5 list. Like Nas is that dude.
And the thing is, I watch a lot of. You ever watch those reaction videos where people react to something like an artist?
Yes,
I'm a big fan. I'm a huge fan of Black people react. I love it. I love it. Because I love the enthusiasm Black people have for some stuff that you thought everybody knew about. They're like, "Oh, you ever see a polar bear be? What? What? Eating fish in the Arctic? What? Son. But I'm forgetting how old I am. Yes. Man, I'm 41 years old, man. And I'm forgetting that they're kids in their 20s that don't know Outkast, that don't know Wu Tang. They may know of them. It's the same way, like, when we were kids, we might have known of the Mamas and the Papas. We might have known of Joan Jett, but maybe we didn't really know. We just had heard, We
didn't live it like our parents.
We didn't live it. We didn't listen to it. We just kind of knew of. So I recently started watching some reaction videos, and I started watching this reaction. It was these 3 brothers that were and brothers by relation, not just brothers because they were brothers, but they were brothers. But 3 brothers. And they were listening to Bombs Over Baghdad for the first time. They were wilding out. So I fell into a rabbit hole with them. And then it was the first time they had ever heard Wu Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to F With.
Bro.
And I watched them react to it like I reacted to it.
Yes.
And that was the coolest part. Because I was like, how are they going to feel about this? This beat might not be for them, and these lyrics might not be for them. And they might, and it came as like, boo, Tiger Style. Boo, Tiger Style. And they were nodding, and then the chorus came in, and then they paused it, and they were like, this is the hardest thing I've ever heard. And I was like, bro, that's me, 1993, in the back of a Sentra, just riding with my homeboys. Like, what are we listening? Like, I remember getting scared. Bro, like, we shouldn't be hearing this. This is coming from the gods themselves, I think, yo.
Bro, it came out of nowhere. I remember it was 93. I was in high school, and my friend Carl was like, bro, you got to hear this. I'm like, who the hell is this? Bro, it's the Wu Tang. And I said, what? I mean, like the Kung Fu. I'm like the Kung Fu Wu Tang? He's like, yeah. Bro, he's like, listen to this. We started listening to that, and from the first note, we were hooked.
Yeah.
We had to know everything we could and find out who the hell is Wu Tang and how do we become a member?
And this
like,
was exactly, bro.
Yeah,
and this was pre-internet days. So you would just like pre-internet. If you guys weren't around for, ain't nobody listening to our show who wasn't around pre-internet. But just in case your dad left us on, and you're like, what are these old fat guys talking about? But if you if you were pre-internet, let me say to you, it was random dudes that you don't know how they had information. Yes. But they got it, and I ended up becoming one of them dudes later on in like the late 90s. But it would be random dudes just sitting at the waterfront like, oh, you like Wu-Tang? Yeah. Well, check it out, man. Jizza the Genius is actually RZA's cousin. He used to go by the name. You're like, how do you know this? They like, I just know. You know?
Yes. That's exactly. That's how we got all our information about Wu-Tang back in the day. It was like, bro, you know what I heard? I heard they really are killer bees.
Yeah, they turned into killer bees at night, and I'm like, it's logical. It's logical.
It makes sense.
You have to be prepared for anything now, gentlemen.
Bro, they are out here raping flowers. I
hear yeah. They be pollinating our ears like they pollinate me. Oh my God, that's why they're bees. Like you would have a breakdown. You'd be in the middle of class, like trying to figure out something. You like, all right, PEMDAS, parentheses, exponents.
Yeah.
Wait a second. The Method Man. Oh my God, the Iron Lung.
Yes.
Oh my God. You drop your pencil. I have no more time for this knowledge, teacher. I just learned everything I need. Stop pushing my mind with this crap. And I would like to come see my math teacher right now and be like, anytime I need to know anything about PEMDAS or anything like that, I got a phone that can solve it. But I can't just whip out my phone when I'm in an old head conversation about Wu-Tang. I need to know that information. You were blocking that.
Yes, absolutely, bro. And it's funny because if anyone had come up to you and said, hey, bro, I got an idea for a rap group. Let's hear me out. We're going to all take the names from old Kung Fu movies. We're going to sample those movies, and we're all going to rap and dress like we're from actual Shaolin.
Okay, and there's going to be 2 of you?
No, 28.
Okay.
Nice.
Might work. It just might work.
Oh, my God. What are the names? Okay, hear me out.
Okay.
Method Man.
Right.
Old Dirty Bastard.
He's like 80. Jizza, okay.
RZA.
That could be confusing. And they're both black?
Raekwon the Chef.
Okay, good. We need to make sure they're nutrients.
That's right. Ghostface Killer.
Okay. Okay, the white
Master Killer.
Okay, the better one.
You God.
Don't even understand that.
And Capadonna.
Okay. Make sure Inspector Deck's there though. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, Inspector Deck. Yeah,
well, that's good. He's the naval one.
The naval.
Inspector Deck. Deck's inspected, sir. Very well. Very good.
He's a seaman?
Yeah. Yeah, so is Jizza. The Jizza, I got it. J-I... No.
No.
It's a G-Z-A.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
Mind
this is
blown.
And they're all from Brooklyn, right?
No,
Staten Island? This is an Italian group? What is this? They'll live in their mom's attic until they're 40? No, little man of God! I got the Jizza over! Not on! This woman. Never work a day in her life. Still can't have dinner on time. I love you. Come here. I love you. All right. This one's just good. I love her. She's beautiful.
So they're not Italian? No.
Okay, so a non-Italian group from Staten Island already. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Named after Kung Fu movie people, but they're all black. And there's 9 of them. Okay, well, at least they're not going to have a bunch of splinter groups that come off here, right? It's just going to be them, right?
No, we have like 8 groups right now.
Okay. Right. And they're going to use super specific slang that most people understand. Give me a sample of one of their lyrics. Let me see. Okay. Chameleon red octopus lungs. Baby girl was moving side to side like she was walking with the bass drum.
Yeah.
You know what that is. Howl at the moon. All my devil dogs to my Shaolin zooms. Yeah, that's never gonna work.
Hey guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back right here on Real Labs.
I just did a line, so let's sign them.
Back, everybody. You are listening to Real Labs right here on Real Radio 104.1. The voice you're hearing right now is Mr. James John, joining virtual studio Miguel Colon Jr. Want to remind all you guys to please go to the iHeart app, look us up, Real Labs. Make sure you download all our past episodes. You can catch us there. You can also catch us on Spotify and iTunes. And now you can see these lovely faces to go with these smooth, velvety voices because we're on YouTube. So please go there, subscribe, like, comment, share everything that you hear, and please follow us on Instagram and Facebook, because we're going to actually be coming out and actually trying to do some bar shows soon. So we want to invite you guys all out there to come have a good time with us. Now, me and Miguel were just discussing the fact that we love the Wu Tang. We got to see them perform live with Mr. Nas and Busta Rhymes. But I got to give some love, Miguel, because, you know, I'm a Wu head. But I got to give some love to who I felt was the star of the actual show. Busta Rhymes is a showman. I did not realize how good he was at taking the group of people that were there and truly turning them into a active, participating audience.
Yeah, Busta Rhymes like a great MC, and not just microphone MC. I mean, like host MC, because he took that whole crowd, and he was in the middle of the show. He took that whole crowd, brought them all together, and then that was it. You know,
he did something that comics do on stage, man. When you ever see a comic performing, he has such high energy, and everybody's with him, and then he lowers his voice, and everybody kind of leans in, like, what is he gonna say next? He did that when he was performing his song, and we all leaned in like, oh my God, this is great. And then he went hype again. Like, bro, he understands how to use his instrument, which is his voice. I give him a lot of credit. I did not expect Busta Rhymes to be the highlight of my evening when I was going there to see all those people perform. But Busta Rhymes, I would go see him solo now. Like, off that performance, man, I'm so down if he ever comes back for us all to go see him. If you've never seen Busta Rhymes live, people, do yourself a favor, go see that man, because he will put it on that stage. He tore it down, rebuilt it, and tore that bitch down again. Can't say enough good things.
Who's somebody, James, in all media, be it comedy, music, or something like that, who's somebody that you saw live, that, because we both already love Busta Rhymes, but who's somebody that you saw live and changed the way you felt about them? Have you ever seen an artist perform live and then be like, oh, okay, this person's doper than I even thought?
Yes. I knew he was dope, and he's always been in that GOAT conversation for comedians, but I didn't understand what they meant until I saw him live. Chris Rock.
Okay.
Chris Rock, bro. It's been said so many times for so many years, man. Chris Rock's the GOAT. Like, you hear Dave Chappelle says Chris Rock's the GOAT. Kevin Hart says Dave Chappelle's the, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Chris Rock's the GOAT.
Chris Rock's the GOAT. They both say that. And I was like, man, that's nice of them to say, but I really didn't get it until I saw him live. Chris Rock is absolutely brilliant at what he does. I mean, a genius at what he does. When I saw this last special, the way that he was talking and addressing the things that we all want to talk about as far as what happened to him, and the way he did it, and the way he didn't have to go into great detail, but just spun a great story, and he played off of it and just worked the crowd. And his new material, you could tell he's been writing, and his pen's been going nuts. That brother is one of the funniest sons of bitches I've ever seen in my life. I was watching him in awe, going, damn, I got to get to this point. Like, throw out all my stuff I've ever written in my entire career and be like, start over. This man does this every 2 years, and he's still that damn good at it. Bro, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock's amazing. Was Bigger and Blacker the special he did where he talked about the kids from Columbine? I can't remember if it was Bigger, Blacker, or Never Scared, or I can't remember now. But whichever one it is, where he talks about the kids from Columbine, and then he talks about racism and stuff and gun control. Me and my sister watched it. I think that special came out in 1998. We watched it recently. And everything's still relevant, which is so sad for our country, but also just amazing for an artist that everything he's talking about is still holds up to this day and still amazing.
It's crazy. And I just had that same kind of deja vu the other day. I was actually watching Stephen King's The Stand.
Okay,
bro, it's about COVID. Bro, I'm watching it going, wait a minute. Bro, the way the country was going crazy, people were dying. People were afraid to get next to anybody. They're afraid of getting sick. And I was like, oh my God, if it doesn't sound just like COVID, dude.
I think the funniest thing after, and it's, I hate to make like the funniest thing about COVID, but that's life. Life has funny moments even when it's not funny.
It does.
COVID came and we watched all the movies and we watch how we're going to react in the movies and stuff. But still, as it was here, like I expect, like they're like, yo, people are locking. There's places in the world that are locked down and stuff like that. My favorite part was Florida was still like, we'll see. We treat it like a hurricane. We're like, we'll see if it's actually gonna hit. Like, nah, man, people were dying everywhere. Yo, we'll see.
And even when it hit, we still were like, man,
we'll see. All right, old people are dying, but that's what they do.
Listen, here's what we'll do. We will make it one way in the public shopping center.
Done, guys. One way in the public shopping center.
There you go.
Only essential employees are allowed to work. Like, who's essential? You got a job? Yeah, get to work. You know? Dog. Hey, dog, get to work.
But I will say this. Here's the difference between movies, fiction, and real life.
Yeah.
Like in the movie, no one can figure it out. Like we just can't make a cure. We can't do it. Bro, we had a cure in a year and a half. Not a cure. I'm sorry. Can't say that. But bro, we had something that people could take and make you feel a whole lot safer. What? In a year and a half.
Yeah, and we just stopped caring. I can totally imagine during the stand, like half the world's dying and stuff. People are like, hey, man, that happens when you vote Democrat. And they're like, what? Oh my God. I'm just saying, buddy.
Happens, bro.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then there's somebody else sitting up in their little like high mansion, and they're like, oh, I can't believe he's not wearing a mask. I'm like, yo, people are bleeding from their eyes, and it's like flesh eating you.
Yeah.
Put a mask.
Put a mask on.
I'm better than you.
While you're at it, I'm from California. Put on a condom.
Right. We got trust issues now.
Oh, it's crazy, man, what we're getting to see right now. Oh, speaking of that, Florida, hurricane going on.
We made like so this show airs Wednesday, correct?
Yeah.
So, if anything, you might not be able to hear it because the power's out, or you might have power. I don't know. This could be a very hidden episode that you only hear a couple weeks later when you're in line picking up ice for the National Guard.
And you're getting rationed beans and sandwiches.
Yeah, I'm one of those people. This is how I am. I've been in Florida long enough. Yes. I do not get excited for hurricanes because at best it's just a lot of wind and it's maybe beautiful to see. But at worst, man, there's like power outages and roads are all messed up and stuff. Yes. And it's, of course it's serious worse. People lose lives and stuff, but I'd just rather not. And then people are like, yeah, but what about hurricane parties? Bro, we don't need to have an excuse to party. We can party. It's Florida. We can party, man. Like, we don't need I'm tired of people telling me like, oh, hurricanes are dope because of hurricane parties. Bro, it's tailgating. That's all it is. It's tailgating the storm. We can tailgate whatever we want. Pick something random that's happening and say we want to party for it. And Florida's down for it.
That's right.
We're like, what is it? Winter solstice? Winter solstice rager. I'm going to get some blackout punch and hit a police horse. You're just looking at the cop and you're just like, listen, officer, I got no quarrel with you. But if that goddamn horse says one more thing to me, I have to. No quarrel with you, sir.
That's right.
None with you. You're looking at the police dog. You're telling, get your friend, dog. Get your friend. He don't want none of this smoke.
Hey, a fun fact too, if you guys come across a police horse with a policeman's on it, don't try to pet the horse. You can ask Joe Sensabella why you don't do that.
Oh, our friend comedian Joe Sensabella a couple years ago tried to pet the horse, and the cop told him like he might bite, and Joe went to go pet him, and the horse bit him in the hand.
Yep.
It was great because Joe's white. So I was like, yeah, finally.
And the horse was black, so
so they put the horse down.
Yeah, they did.
They charged the horse,
and they sprinkled crack on him afterwards. Yeah. He was actually,
and it was crazy too because that horse had 2 weeks left to retirement.
Yes, right. His name was Charles too, Jackson. I don't know why, but that's the same.
Get too old for this. Yeah. I saw one time a police dog was searching a car, like going around it, and in the middle of going around the car, it just stopped and took a dump right next to the car. And I was like, watch the officer be like, we got a hit. That's a hit, man. The old dump by the car, that means it's heroin. He's saying it's in the dude's rectum.
Gotcha, man. Now I always wonder how they train the police dogs to look for certain drugs. Like, do they get it? Does the dog get wet?
Yeah, man. They're like, all right, dog, welcome to police dog training. It's over the weekend, so you can sleep it off on Sunday. First thing we're going to start with is a little blow. All you dogs pass this plate around. All right. Take one nostril whiffer, okay, man? I don't need you up all weekend. All right, now you took a little blow. You're all fired up. Let's get you a little weed here to put you down. We're about to ride the roller coaster, kids, because after this, got a little meth. Gonna shoot some heroin. Take a little LSD. Do some mushrooms.
Oh my God.
And Monday, we're gonna need some new dogs. They're dead. Keeps happening. Keeps happening. Instead of police dogs, they just need to let junkies tear your car up for drugs because they'll find it.
Funny.
It's in here somewhere. He's got a wrench. He's taking the seats apart.
They took the whole
car. He's just scratching. You think there's dope in there? Give me a wrench. Give me a wrench. Get out of here, dog. I got it. I got this one. I got this one.
Go get him, boy. Go get him, boy.
Yeah. I didn't find no cocaine, but I found this radio in my cell. We're going to get some cocaine. And you can put a little bit of it in his car. That help? I'm so tired.
I'm so tired. But he's still up because he's on meth.
Oh, man. Hey, man. I know I took your car apart. Sorry I didn't find no drugs. But you can lend me some money? You got some change? No, don't look at your glove box. Ain't no more change there. I found that. There's evidence.
Everybody that works with the cops are now from Daytona because they just
they just pull up with an SUV full of dope fiends. They're like, there could be some blow in there. They hit it like zombies.
My God. Hey man, you ever think we're gonna get to the point where people look at cocaine like they do weed now? Like, let's legalize it.
I mean, we do with Adderall.
Yeah, we do.
Like, I mean, they basically prescribe you. Like, I'm having problems paying attention. What? Take some Adderall. I'm paying attention too much. What? Take some Adderall. You know? Yeah, well, here, while we talk about it, let's do some Adderall.
There you go. Hey, I keep forgetting to put on pants. Oh,
what?
Adderall.
Adderall will fix that, kid, right up. Get yourself a nice, clean dosage of Adderall. That's what Dr. Smiley says. Dr. Smiley's Adderall cures it all. And if you're overweight, take some Adderall. Too skinny? Take some Adderall. They're going to kill me if I can't move this Adderall, kid. You understand that? I took way too much from the pharmacy. They told me they would front me a couple jars, and I thought I could move a couple bags. I'm in deep. So if that baby doesn't stop crying, I'm going to prescribe it Adderall. The baby died in childbirth? Let's see if some Adderall will wake him. Come here, kid.
Hey, kid, did you know that even if you owe the Russians money and you...
they break your legs, you still owe them money? It doesn't seem like I'm going to get it to him any faster now, you know? But anyway, here's your Adderall. I'm just here to deliver water. I don't know. Take it. Sign for it here. You got health insurance? Oh, kid.
There you go. Sign here.
Sign here. Here's your Adderall.
Oh, what's funny is we're laughing, but that's exactly how they started prescribing opioids. Like, it was that
simple. Oh yeah, like I got a pain in my neck. How severe? I think I slept wrong. Well, you're gonna sleep right now, kid.
There you go.
You're gonna sleep right through everything.
How many do I take? Oh, that's the good part. You're not gonna stop taking this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Eat the whole jar, whatever. You'll get some more. Hey, are you a fan of scratching yourself in public and picking your face? You are now.
Oh, we just described the opioid epidemic.
Yeah, or Daytona.
Same thing.
Yeah. What do they think? They're just going to pick their face off and there'll be a new beautiful face underneath?
That's the
I'm
plan.
Almost done. I'm almost done.
Oh, my gosh. All right, guys, we will be right back right here on Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1. Don't forget to keep following us on social media. That's Instagram and Facebook. But don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. You're still listening to Real Laughs on Real Radio 104.1. The voice you're hearing today, I'm in the big chair. I'm the host, Mr. James Eon, comedian extraordinaire. Actually joined in studio with my good friend and the man who helped start this thing we call Real Laughs, Mr. Miguel Colon Jr. I want to remind you guys, if you want to see this amazing man, so talented, so funny right here performing, you can catch him on October 8th at Outpost Kitchen in Maitland. He's going to be performing there with Absar Siddiqui. It's going to be a great show. You guys need to definitely check it out. Take a look at our social media page. You can go to outpostkitchen.com and definitely get tickets from there. It's going to be inexpensive. It's going to be a great night. And the food there, and I'm not just making this up, I'm a fat dude. You can trust what I say. The food at Outpost Kitchen is absolutely amazing. Please, Miguel, tell these folks I'm not making that up.
It's great. I feel like Absar Siddiqui spent the first half of the 2000s having to like fucking really explain who he was at airport. Like, cause that, like, I think there was such, like, and I mean, there's such a like, oh God. Here's what's horrible, bro. Here's what's horrible.
Tell the truth.
You don't think somebody's racist, right? You don't think they are, and then you hear them say something. I heard a buddy I heard it, but then I like this guy. He's not a good friend of mine, but I like this guy.
Gotcha.
And,
Not a bad
dude.
but...
Politically, just kind of in the middle with everybody and stuff like that. And we were talking about Detroit. And I said, yeah, Detroit's pretty swinging. I mean, it's definitely scary where it's scary. I hate those people who pretend like cities aren't scary where it's scary. I'm like, hey, Detroit, where it's scary, it's scary. I don't, you know. Yeah. And he said like the most racist thing, bro, out of nowhere. He was just like, yeah, but it's got so many Muslims.
Whoa.
I was like, bro, like
what? Wait a minute.
Yeah, like, and I was like waiting for some kind of like not really landing punchline or something like that, you know, like, and it wasn't. And it's pretty messed up, man. I do think we like Islamophobia is so tolerated more than other racism because it's straight up racism.
Yes,
it's straight up racism. It's the same thing as saying, yeah, but there's so many Puerto Ricans there, and you know, not saying it in a cool way. Like there's so many Puerto Ricans there, they're gonna be some big asses, you know, like
yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, what I
was gonna say is here's why, man. We've done this thing where we've used words, and words have power. And what I mean by that is we've associated the fact that people are Muslim with being terrorists, which is stupid.
Yeah,
bro, you can't do that about any other.
We don't associate Christians with the Ku Klux Klan, and the Ku Klux Klan is a Christian-based terrorist organization.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
We all know better, and we're like, yeah, well, those are bad people pretending to be Christian.
Yes,
and that's basically what any extremist terrorist that uses a religion is. They're just bad people pretending to be in that religion, but they're not.
Absolutely, they're not. Yes,
but I do think, man, and this is the real sad part, James. Islamophobia is not only like, bro, the Black and Spanish community are just as guilty, as guilty for being hateful towards people that they perceive to be Islamic, which is even crazy. It's just like you think, you know, like what is the Sikhs? I know that the Sikhs and stuff like that, people, and it's just, I mean, bro, it's just something that boggles my mind because I know the Black and Spanish community are always at the forefront of like, you know, we got to end racism and we got to stop profiling people and we got to do this. But bro, I see it, and I
diversity.
And
we preach. Yeah,
I don't want to make assumptions about people, you know, too, but I think we both find ourselves in circles of people that we really thought are educated enough, cool people who would never think. And from time to time, you hear something like that, and it really is. And I know this: I'm guilty of making stereotypical jokes about many races, white people, Black people, Spanish people, and you know, I don't know if the jokes that I've made have negatively affected somebody. I hope they haven't, but I do make jokes about it.
We do.
But I feel like real, like, I hear from people, man, that I dig and I think they're cool people, and it changes the way I have to feel about them, and that sucks. But it's like, yeah,
you look at them, you're like, oh, dude, now we can't be cool. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Now don't look at you the same way, bro. Now,
yeah, man,
you've made it awkward, dude. Like, really? I will tell you, there's certain people that I can't mess with anymore. Yeah, there's certain people in comedy. I don't care where you grew up. You are not. There's certain things you just shouldn't say.
Yeah,
I don't even care if you grew up next to Black people or Puerto Rican people. There's still a line you shouldn't cross when it comes to the words that you use. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
So it makes me not even want to get money from that person because I'm like, bro, I can't be associated with that because it's a cosign that it's okay.
And this is a very controversial thing to say, but I've forgiven people for saying things directly to me when we're busting chops hard, because I sometimes am like, bro, we are purposefully crossing lines with each other because we're that comfortable with each other, and this is about trying to make the other person uncomfortable in the game. And growing up with my father being in the military and living on military bases and growing up around Marines, I watched them try to push each other's buttons because they had each other's back so hard and they were homies. So it's a real difference if me, you, and Ken are in the car driving somewhere and we're busting each other's chops with racial jokes. It's because we've agreed that the three people, the only people hearing this, do not believe any of this and are trying. But in front of an audience, in front of strangers, in front of somebody that you haven't made this agreement with,
mixed company.
It's rough. Yeah, man.
Nah, you can't do it. And there's certain lines that can't be crossed, even if you're comedians, because that's what we do. We bust balls. Let's be honest. But we do it in such a way that even if it sounds harsh, it's coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
But there's rules to doing that. Like you said, we don't do it in front of mixed company. We don't just do it in public to embarrass you. It's when we're all sitting back, having a good time. Nobody's around. We're having drinks. You know what I mean? And that's when we do it.
And it has to come from a place of I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm trying to bust
not trying
your
to hurt
chops.
you. No.
Because I've got mad at people who have insulted me with things that I do not care about. Like, I am fat. I realize that every day when I'm shopping for clothes. Yeah.
You can't hurt me with that. Like,
yeah, you can't hurt me with that. But if I know you're trying to hurt me, I don't like you.
The intent.
The intent makes me not like you anymore.
I'm definitely,
you know, like I get, you know, like chop busting between homies and then trying to hurt somebody is hugely different.
Yes, it is, bro.
And a lot of comics, unfortunately, that's big with comics in the LGBTQ community. Not the people in the community, but people making jokes about the LGBTQ community, and it coming off like, are you being like trying to hurt people, or are you being funny? And I am huge, man. Hey, this might sound weird. I might sound like I do think to be a comic, you are sort of a hypocrite, and I mean this because we constantly tell you where the lines are. But the line moves and we cross them, you know? So I get it. But you just know, and I know this sounds so weak as an excuse, but guys, as a comic, I feel like I just know when somebody's being hurtful against a community or a group versus when somebody is misguidedly saying some stuff, being stupid, not thinking right, or just being funny. You know, Bill Burr has jokes that I think people would look at on face value and they're like, I can't believe he said that. And it's like, yeah, but you know, Bill Burr's making a funny point, and it's not coming from a place of hurting anybody. You're still allowed to be offended. Here's the thing, guys: you are 100% allowed to be offended at anything you want.
Yes,
you're allowed to want to take action about that offense.
Yes,
you're just not allowed to think that I'm automatically offended or I automatically agree with you, and you're not automatically expecting everything to change. But you're allowed to take offense and try to change stuff. You just don't get mad at me when I don't see it that way.
Yeah, don't speak for me.
Yeah.
Don't speak out and be like, we're all offended. No, we're not. Don't watch it. Tune it out. Turn it off. But don't get to speak for me. I love Bill Burr's comedy. My wife's not a big fan. She's like, this is not funny. This is rude. I'm like, yes, we're both right.
Yeah.
We're both right.
We're both right.
I love Bill Burr. I love the jokes he does. I love how socially he pushes buttons, but he does it for a reason. He goes, look, it's every woman's choice. Don't get me wrong. It should be every woman's choice, but don't make like we're not killing a baby.
It was a great joke. Yeah,
it's a great joke, man.
It's a harsh view on things. It's great. It's there to make you think. And you're right. Like it's basically if you were to say Dave Chappelle is not funny and what he's saying is rude and wrong, I guess you're right. If I say Dave Chappelle is funny and the things he's been saying lately are funny and I enjoy them, I'm right.
You're right. You're right.
Now the question is just basically about action. And unfortunately, I wish I'd be wrong if I didn't want people like I don't want people to take action against comics that I think are hilarious because I like them.
Amen.
But I'd be wrong to think that in this country you don't have the right to take action against things you don't like. You do.
That is true. That's the beauty about this country. You're right.
The big thing about things like cancel culture is I would say this, and I hate using terms like that, like cancel culture and things like that, because it really makes it seem like a silly thing when it's not. But the big thing is in the United States, if you don't like something, there's probably nothing more American than standing up, protesting, and trying to change it. And I hate that, but it's the truth. Our country was founded on cancel culture. Yeah. We were basically like, we're not going to pay taxes to somebody who's not supplying us with representation. Let's cancel the king. You know? And I hate that, but it's the truth, man.
The truth. It's what makes America America. Like you said, if we don't like something, we have a voice that can be heard.
Yeah, and what I think the biggest threat to freedom of speech is telling people they don't have the right to it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest threat to freedom of speech. I think it's horrible that we see people get sometimes canceled for things that you're like, what? Like, you know, like I said, some 20 years ago, he was dumb about it. But what?
Let me ask you that. You brought up a good point, man. Speaking of people getting canceled for something that happened 20 years ago, Tiffany Haddish, Ari Spears are going through it because of a skit they did many years ago where an uncle, it was kind of insinuated that he was, you know, Pedophile.
Oh no, it was straight up that he was a pedophile in the skit. It was about pedophiles.
He was. Yeah. What do you think about the parents of the kids or the kids themselves who were in that skit coming back now and say, I've suffered emotional stress and I need to get paid?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know.
It's a very weird line.
It's a very weird line. Yeah.
Now, I did notice the difference in how they both handled it. I'm talking about Ari Spears and Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany Haddish definitely on a different stratosphere as far as stardom. Yeah. Ari's kind of just doing the same old, you know. He came out and said, no, man, this is extortion. This is shakedown. Tiffany immediately apologized, said she sees the errors of her ways and wish she'd never done it. And I heard today that she actually settled a case with the people.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a hard one.
It's a hard one. I would say this, though. I do think people have the right to apologize for things that they did in the past.
Yes.
I have this feel. This is my view on apologies, and it might not work for every case, but my view on apologies is this. If you feel you should apologize, you should definitely apologize. Okay. But you have to know that people don't have to accept your apology.
That is true.
And so it's a hard one, man. It's a hard one because it's hard for me to look at these cases without being defensive of my own career. You know, I'm not unbiased because I look at this case and I'm like, oh God, the things I may have done in the past, I would never want. And that's already clouding my judgment on how this should be treated. I'm already defending and protecting myself. It's almost, you know, that's one of the big things we have to get over when we look at any case that's maybe a civil rights case or a case of something happening against a man, and we put ourselves in those shoes because we're instantly, I think instantly I'm always like, okay, I might think that this person did wrong, but I'm also scared of jumping on the bandwagon of saying they did wrong because I think, oh man, I could easily get, you know, and I'm not talking about things like sexual assault or big things like that. I'm talking about statements made that you're like, that was stupid to say. I've been talking for 40 of my 41 years. I don't know when I started talking. I've been talking forever. Maybe I was 2 years old, but I've been talking for over 30 something years. And I know I've said some stupid stuff.
I've said some dumb things in my career. I know that, man.
And if you want to call, if they call you out on it, it's hard, man, because you definitely want to apologize. But I think people won't think you're sincere either. And that's the hard part.
And that's the hard part too. Like you really could mean it, but no one really takes it serious, man.
Yeah.
We're almost out of time, man. I had a great time on this show with you. I hope we're actually airing right now. I hope everybody's safe out there.
Hope everybody's safe, man. Yeah.
I love you all. Hope everybody's doing good. Now, Miguel, are you doing anything this weekend, or you're home?
No, I canceled. I had some things going small, but I canceled them because I didn't know how the storm was going to be.
Absolutely.
And so we're going to reschedule. But October 8th, I'll be at the Outpost, and I'm excited to do that show.
Guys, go
to Absar Siddiqui, man.
Absar Siddiqui. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will see you next week right here on Real Laughs, Real Radio 104.1.